Well guys, I know it's still super early into the season and they've only faced the Raiders and the Panthers, but the Chargers are looking a lot different than what the narratives were coming into this season. And the week 1 Raiders win was just legitimized after they took down the Ravens in wild fashion. The Chargers really had such a crazy offseason, highlighted by the transition from Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh, and you could really start to sense the shift in culture from the jump. Harbaugh immediately talked about how the players were willingly staying longer at workouts, everyone was buying into the system, and all the work from the offseason has definitely been showing so far. Again, I'm not going to overreact and look too deep into it. I know the Chargers are still in a rebuilding phase right now, but from what you were hearing over the last few months, you would have thought all hell was breaking loose. Are there things this team can improve on? Of course. Are they going to be a Super Bowl contender come December and January? Obviously not. But if you're a Chargers fan, you quietly have to be feeling pretty good inside right now. I mean, 2-0 is not easy to do in this league. In this video, I'm going to talk about everything that has been going on with this team. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40k subscribers, and with your support, I believe we can get there super fast. Alright, so the thing is, it's not just X's and O's with Harbaugh. He's re-engineering the team from the inside out. You can see it in how players talk about him. The way they play for him, it's different. Derwin James said Harbaugh is the most powerful leader he's ever seen. Now that's a strong statement coming from a guy like Derwin. And then you've got Joey Bosa calling Harbaugh the final piece of the puzzle. When players are speaking with this kind of respect and passion, you know the culture shift is real. And it's crazy to think they could have gone with Sean Payton, right? But sticking with Staley for one more season before going for Harbaugh might have been the best thing the Chargers did. Harbaugh just feels like the right fit. Meanwhile, Payton is off to a rough start in Denver, and the contrast between those two teams is becoming more and more evident. What's interesting about Harbaugh is how he's brought this old school, disciplined mindset, but blended it with modern football concepts. Players like Justin Herbert and the offensive line are thriving under his leadership. Harbaugh's teams have always been about physicality, but there's also an emphasis on efficiency. It's not just about pounding the rock, it's about making every snap count. And speaking of Harbaugh's influence, it's not just the veteran players who are thriving. Young guys like Quentin Johnston are stepping up too. Johnston, who had a very rocky rookie season, is now showing he's ready to be a consistent contributor. Those 2 touchdowns against the Panthers weren't just impressive, they were a statement. This is the year he's proving he belongs, and the time couldn't be better with Harbaugh at the helm. Now, let's get into the Panthers game. That 26-3 blowout was something else. From the first whistle, you could feel the dominance. The Chargers got the ball and immediately marched down the field, with Justin Herbert connecting with Quentin Johnston for a 29-yard touchdown. Talk about setting the tone early. It was a picture-perfect drive. For a Panthers team that was already on shaky ground after a brutal Week 1 loss, it was a sign that things weren't going to get better anytime soon. But yeah, for a guy who had such a rocky rookie season, you could see how much confidence he was building. 2 touchdowns in 1 game? That's huge. It's moments like these that can turn a young player's career around. If Johnson can stay consistent, he's going to be a major weapon for the Chargers offense this season. Now let's talk Justin Herbert. The guy just keeps proving why he's one of the best young QBs in the league. He didn't need to air it out a ton in this game, but his efficiency was off the charts. A 70% completion rate, 2 touchdowns, and just managing the game with total control. Harbaugh really is that guy. Cool under pressure, always making the right reads, and when he needs to, he can launch those deep balls with pinpoint accuracy. And can we just give a shout out to the offensive line? They were dominant, paving the way for over 200 rushing yards. J.K. Dobbins had a monster day with 131 yards on the ground and a ridiculous 43-yard touchdown run where he broke multiple tackles, tiptoed down the sideline, and somersaulted into the end zone. He joked after the game that he wasn't going to get caught this week after last week's near miss, and he didn't. Dobbins is showing why, when healthy, he can be one of the league's top backs. And this offensive line, by the way, isn't just blocking well. They're creating huge holes for the running backs to exploit. Joe Alt, who has been fantastic early in his career, is proving to be one of the best tackles in the game. The chemistry between Alt and the rest of the line, guys like Zion Johnson and Rashawn Slater, is something special. These guys are a brick wall in pass protection, and they're mauling people in the run game. Harbaugh's vision of a physical, run-heavy offense is coming to life, and it's working beautifully. And let's not forget about Gus Edwards, who's also chipped in with some solid runs. Establishing the ground game like this is so important for a team like the Chargers. It's not just about running down the clock, it's about wearing down defenses and giving Herbert more options. The balance we're seeing in this offense is something we didn't see as consistently last year, and it's clearly paying off. But the real star of this game was the Chargers defense. They were lights out. Bryce Young couldn't get anything going. The Panthers were held to just 159 yards of total offense, and Young only 84 passing yards. The home crowd was booing him off the field by the end of the game, and you could just feel the frustration all around. The defense was relentless. Elijah Molden was everywhere. He came up with a huge interception that totally shifted the momentum. And after the game, Molden said that it was all about preparation. They repped that exact look all week, and when the opportunity came, he was ready. That's what you want to hear from your defense: being prepared, being focused, and executing when it counts. And Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator, deserves a ton of credit for this. His schemes are keeping opposing offenses guessing. In week 1, they locked down the Raiders, and now against the Panthers, they held Bryce Young in check. We're seeing the defense thrive under Harbaugh's leadership, but the credit also goes to the way Minter is mixing up his coverages. Whether it's Derwin James flying around or Christian Fulton locking down receivers, everyone is playing their part. Alright, next up, the Chargers are on the road to face the Steelers, and that's going to be a tough test, especially if Herbert's ankle is still bothering him. But either way, this team is showing that it can win with a balanced, strong defense, a powerful running game, and a quarterback who knows how to manage games. So if they can keep this up, we could be looking at something special. But let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below. That's really all I have for this one. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.